Recording? Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this recap session designed to inform you of what went on at Y4Y's Community Forum 2 days ago, February 3rd, when we hosted over 50 organizations and individuals during that activity in that event. This is designed to be a quick recap during which you can pause any one of the frames and get the information that I will be going quite quickly through today in order to condense it into 1 hour. So 2 days ago, we put the agenda for the event in the chat. We introduced our staff that was present, as well as our board members that were present and our friends from TechSec who were helping us with the IT element of conducting a forum virtually. The agenda was the same as what was posted online. We had some introductory remarks followed by individual sessions during which the Y4Y team presented some new ideas, new paths for youth participation, and ways that the community can be involved with Y4Y's activities for 26-27. So we enunciated a couple of goals for the forum. We framed a couple of goals. One of them was to inform the public and our community partners of what Y4Y can offer in 26-27, how we'd like to get more English-speaking youth involved in our activities. And the second goal was to get feedback from the community and the organizations who participated on those paths forward that we were presenting, those ideas. And I would say, upon reflection, that we achieved those two goals. I think the people who participated were more informed about what Y4Y can offer, and hopefully it will be more of a reflex for our partner organizations to reach out when they are engaging in youth activities or would like to form a youth committee for any of their projects or initiatives. We had several messages from elected officials because we reached out and asked them to provide them in advance of our forum. The Honourable Christopher Skeet gave an opening address, followed by the Honourable Yannick Gagnon, as well as the Honourable Anna Gainey, Member of Parliament for Notre-Dame-de-Grâce-Westmount, where the Y4Y office is housed, and also Secretary of State for Children and Youth at the federal level. We gave an overview of Y4Y Quebec for those folks who were on the phone who were newer to us and who didn't know us as well. We talked about our mission and vision, the major funders, how we view our mandate and related activities, and some examples of projects and initiatives that we have ongoing. We also made it clear that understanding local realities is a responsibility that Y4Y takes very seriously, as it is a provincial organization. We couldn't do that without the partnerships that we have in place with organizations that also work across the province of Quebec. We noted that Y4Y Quebec has a mesure in the Plan d'Action Jeunesse 2025-2030 of the Secrétariat à la Jeunesse du Québec. We are in the citoyenneté axis of the Plan d'Action Jeunesse, the objectives of which are to support the development of critical thinking and civic engagement, to promote egalitarian relationships, as well as intergenerational dialogue and intercultural dialogue as well, and to facilitate access to decision-making bodies for youth and to prepare the next generation to be among those decision makers. And how do we view the year ahead and the work to be done at Y4Y? Well, Y4Y will be supporting new and existing youth committees. We're very excited about the fact that more organizations in the community infrastructure in Quebec are viewing the creation of youth committees as very important in terms of informing their work with youth. And we want to be a part of that, and we have the tools to support youth committees in building their skills and their confidence. We will also be ensuring English-speaking youth participation in government consultations when they occur. We believe that English-speaking youth should have a seat at the table, and we aim to promote those opportunities to participate in the society in that way. Furthermore, we aim to increase understanding of the issues facing English-speaking youth. So as an organization that has a mandate to consult with English-speaking youth across the province, We also have responsibility to report what we learn during those consultations with youth themselves, as well as with the organizations that directly support them day to day. So we will be bringing those issues to the forefront when we have the occasion to inform government and decision makers. As always, we'll be testing new approaches for youth by youth, and we'll be bridging the linguistic divide for greater access and representation for English-speaking youth, alongside our French-speaking majority community partners and friends. I'd like to share a new opportunity to promote the things that you are doing with youth, you, the community organizations working directly with them in your various regions. We're creating and we'll be hosting a youth opportunity board. So there's a QR code that you can use to fill out a quick, simple form and give us information about the opportunity that you're offering for youth. It might be a volunteer opportunity. It might be an opportunity to serve on an advisory board on a project. It might be an opportunity because there's an open seat on your board of directors and you'd like a youth to fill that seat. Any of those kinds of things, or, positions that are remunerated, that are, I would say, entry level. We find there are too few entry level and skills building opportunities for English speaking youth. And so the Youth Opportunity Board is designed to help with that and certainly to promote the opportunities you are offering. So how did we organize our day on the 3rd? Well, we had 2 rounds of breakout rooms. Round 1 had 3 topics. Freya hosted the Micro Grants for Youth breakout room. Alex hosted the Research Needs breakout room. And Samantha hosted the Membership in the Network breakout room. And what I'm going to do now is give you a quick overview using the slides that were presented in each of those breakout rooms. If you have a question on one of the slides or a piece of information contained therein, please get in touch with us at Y4Y, me personally, or you can use info@y4yquebec.org. I'm going to go through these quickly, but again, this is designed to be an overview, so you can pause and review any QR codes that were shared with links, or come back to us with your questions. So let's start off with the Micro Grants for Youth room that was hosted very successfully by Freya Wilson. Y4Y has taken on and is proud to promote a program by the Réseau Dialogue. It's called the VIF program. It's funded through PCH, funded by PCH through the Dialogue Network, and it's going to be offering youth across Canada the opportunity to apply for a $1,000 micro grant. And this is an exciting opportunity. The projects that will be created need to be promoting French, the use of French, and they're designed to be funding projects in the official language minority communities. So it's very pertinent to our community. We want as many English-speaking youth as possible to apply. So Y4Y is taking on the job of promoting this big time. This March, youth aged 14 to 30 can apply for a $1,000 micro grant for a community project. So here are some parameters of what the project must include. And they must partner with a community organization. Y4Y can be that partner, or any of your local organizations can also be the partner for that micro grant opportunity. The partner organization will get a small honorarium of $150, and the rest will be directly for activities within the youth's proposed project. It's going to be easy for the young people who wish to apply. They can submit a written application in either English or French to Programme VIF. They can also submit a video application in English or French. Rest assured, more information is coming soon. The microgrant program has not yet launched, although you can visit their website right now at Réseau Dialogue and look up the tab called Programme VIF. They'll be receiving applications between March and April. Y4Y is going to do a big communications push to make sure, again, that as many English-speaking youth from Quebec apply. Over 100 projects will be funded across the country. So there really are there's a good shot at our province's youth, official language minority community youth, getting these grants. We invited questions and comments. Our friend from, and program officer from the Réseau Dialogue, Rosie Kasongo, was on hand to answer many of those questions about details about the microgrants. But again, Y4Y will be doing a big communications push soon in order to make sure that the message is out about this opportunity. Okay, following that breakout room, or actually concurrently, Alex Pedham was hosting a breakout room about the research that Y4Y is currently engaged in, and then opened the floor up to ask the community partners present what are some data points that they need for their purposes, maybe for their grant writing and to inform their projects and initiatives, and to think about designing some research projects down the road, or maybe even in 26, 27 that Y4Y could help with. I'll go through Alex's slides. Alex mentioned that we have many collaborators for research projects on the English-speaking youth community of Quebec, including the Quebec English Speakers Research Network, Coalition Interjeunes, the Provincial Employment Roundtable, the Department of Canadian Heritage, the Cher Réseau Jeunesse, of which Y4Y is a member, and York University, who are our partners currently on a social science and humanities research grant. Currently, Y4Y has undertaken a couple of research initiatives regarding our youth community. The first one is called Should I Stay or Should I Go? And it is designed to, over a long period of time, with some committed youth who are dedicated to this research project for the next couple of years, to examine key factors in youth decision-making processes about whether or not to remain in Quebec. Part of Y4Y's core mission is to have a positive impact on youth retention, English-speaking youth retention in the province of Quebec. And we find this is some necessary research. We have to do it in order to understand how to have that positive impact on youth retention in Quebec. And we're very grateful to the youth who are participating in that. Next, we're working with our partners at Coalition Interjeunes. Coalition Interjeunes is leading on this. They will be conducting a survey on youth issues, particularly precarity and the cost of living, as well as the increase in intolerance that we're seeing in our province, particularly among youth. They'll be conducting their study with the French-speaking community, and we are responsible for conducting the same study for the English-speaking community. It'll take us about a year to do the investigation fully, but the final report will include what we consider to be a very fulsome look at youth in the province. In the past, studies have not included English-speaking youth voices as much as we would have liked, and this is the partnership that we're going to work within for the coming years to make sure that that's not the case anymore. We're also looking into barriers to success for English-speaking youth in CEGEP. There are some alarming statistics coming out of English CEGEPs about success rates among the English-speaking students that are enrolled. And so we're going to be looking into that further with a coalition around this research as well from the educational community. Finally, we, on an ongoing basis, run our policy brief program, which is where English-speaking youth are invited to submit their ideas and their advocacy. And we support them in the writing of policy briefs that have recommendations to improve whatever situation, whatever topic they may have brought to the fore. Those policy briefs get escalated to decision makers who can have an impact on that. And as the youth organization representing English-speaking youth in Quebec, we expect a response. So that continues, and we support about 6 to 10 of those publications per year on average. So during this breakout session, Alex put the question to the groups that he met with. He asked, what Y4Y led or youth-related research questions could help you in your work? Could Y4Y be of assistance, as we have been in the past, to organizations that are doing research on youth and would appreciate Y4Y's help to get youth involved in those studies. From Alex's account, he had very fruitful discussions with his breakout room groups. And I'm sure that it will lead to lots of interesting research in 26, 27 and beyond that hopefully will support the work of all the groups across the province who, again, work directly with our youth populations. The last breakout room in round one was about joining Y4Y as an organization. So Samantha Restall presented the breakout room slides for the breakout room called Membership in the Network. She talked about membership structure. So we're able to accept individual youth as members. Youth is defined by 16 to 30. We also have a supporters category. So supporters can be outside of the youth category, but folks who believe in the mission and mandate of Y4Y Quebec. And finally, and it was very exciting for us, is that we can now, based on a bylaw change in September 2025, we can accept organizations as members. So Y4Y aims to be a network organization, a network of organizations that wish to see English-speaking youth leadership advanced in multiple ways and wish to support that project. So what are the criteria to become a member of Y4Y Quebec as an organization? Well, all member organizations must be incorporated in Quebec. All member organizations must provide programs and services for youth and/or demonstrate a strong desire to increase opportunities to encourage local youth leadership. Finally, all member organizations must serve or have the ability to meaningfully engage the English-speaking communities of Quebec as part of their mandate and programming. What are the benefits of becoming a member of Y4Y Quebec for your organization? You will have priority access to Y4Y's services. That involves peer-to-peer workshops and training for youth committees, sponsorship opportunities across the province, access to the Youth on Boards and Leadership Training Program, which are often sold out, so to speak. In other words, we can only accommodate so many per cohort. But if you are a member organization, youth who register as youth who have been referred by your organization will get priority access to those training programs, et cetera, et cetera. Again, if you wish to pause the presentation here and take a look at those more closely, welcome to do so. And what does it mean to have members who are also participating in the activities of Y4Y? Well, first of all, there will be a nominal membership fee in year one, and we'll expect member organizations to contribute that. Furthermore, we'll ask member organizations to send one youth delegate to represent the organization at Y4Y's annual general meeting and any other official members' meetings, by the way, in order to share your organization's priorities and local youth perspectives from your region. We'll also ask you to participate in at least one Y4Y survey on behalf of your organization to help shape our insights into the sector. This is a QR code that will take you to the form, again, quite simple form where you can, go through some questions that will help you self-identify as eligible for membership to Y4Y's network. We certainly hope you do so and help us build this idea of having a stronger network of representation and advocacy for English-speaking youth. We invited questions and comments. I can't recap them all because there were many. I would say interest was high, and this is very exciting for Y4Y. So thank you to those who participated on the 3rd, and for those of you who are considering membership, having watched this recap session today. So that was it for the round one breakout rooms. That was the information we shared. And then we took a break. We took a nice 15-minute break, but we're not going to do that now in this recap session. We're going to go right into the presentations from round two. So I was very grateful to my colleague, Maria Medessian, who presented slides on the leadership training program. This is a new initiative of Y4Y Quebec, and I'll speak to you a little bit about that in a moment. I presented a short presentation about youth projects and common threads. What's working well in terms of projects designed to attract and retain and hold on to the attention of youth in your communities? And finally, Samantha again presented some slides on youth consultations and the fact that Y4Y can and wants to come and partner with your organization, come to your region, wherever that may be in Quebec, and listen to and hear from young people in your communities. So let's get to those slides. First of all, the leadership training program. We're excited about this program. In general, these are activities that Y4Y engages in and has engaged in the past regularly and know how to do well and know how to support youth to do quite well. But we're bringing them home in the form of one cohesive program called the Leadership Training Program. So this is designed to be a 12-month experience-based journey to help youth build leadership skills, engage in civic life in Quebec, and think about how to turn their great ideas into action with support from Y4Y. So participants in the leadership training program, and they can be from age 16 to 30, which is Y4Y's definition of youth. Participants complete a series of activities over the course of the 12 months, outlined in a clear leadership roadmap. And once completed, they're officially recognized by Y4Y at the next community forum, and they get a certificate that they can post on their LinkedIn or include in any job applications they may have or school applications they may have in the future. So we're going to launch a new cohort of the leadership training program twice a year. There will be a spring cohort. There will be a spring cohort coming up in March that will be opening for applications in March 2026. The youth who apply and want to pursue it will start in April 2026, and they'll have 12 months to complete the activities on our roadmap. What is the activities roadmap? Well, there are 6 activities to complete in the activities roadmap. Point 1, the youth participants can attend one of 2 of Y4Y's major annual activities, the Youth Forum or the Youth on Boards program. Again, if they've already done one of those in the past, they can get quote unquote credit for that, having participated in those activities in the past. We'd like them to come to the next ones too, but if they've already participated, well, there's a check mark already. Point number 2, we ask that they attend 2 or more of what you see there on that list under number 2, the Bishops Forum, les rencontres maîtres chez vous, Parlement Jeunesse du Québec, INM's École d'été, or INM's École d'hiver. And so choosing 2 out of those 5 options rather, will mean that they've had some really interesting leadership conference experiences that, by all accounts of past participants that Y4Y has sponsored, are eye-opening and revelatory, empowering, and they wish they could go back year after year. So those are some really strong results from English-speaking youth who have attended all of these activities. And so we want to encourage more of that participation by putting it on this roadmap. Point number 3, we'll ask the youth participants to complete one of the following activities. So volunteer at least 3 hours at a local community event that interests you. Create a local youth consultation with help from Y4Y's Create a Consultation team of volunteers, and maybe manage a budget to get that done with help from Y4Y. Third option is organize a virtual or in-person community event to bring people together around an activity or an idea, and manage a more sizable budget of $500 to do that. Imagine a local potluck community dinner where they also have some table topics and talk about issues related to youth or other items that they might want to discuss related to their community life. Number 4 is do some research. Is there micro-grant funding for youth projects available to Quebec youth applicants? Maybe share an idea with Y4Y Quebec for a youth-led project that they would like to see brought to life for their community, school, or economic sector. We love to hear those ideas. We want to work with youth so that they're youth-led projects always. And number 5, write a formal letter to a decision maker, to an elected official, local, provincial, federal, wherever their ambitions may take them. Y4Y will help this youth write a formal letter to do their own advocacy on an issue that they care about. And that's the activities roadmap for the leadership training program. It's designed not to interrupt school or other obligations, but to really give a youth who participates throughout a new perspective on who's engaging in leadership, what youth priorities are and how they're being articulated and debated. And this is ultimately designed to be empowering and informative and engaging for our English-speaking youth. Y4Y will be sending out lots of communications and promotion for encouraging youth to apply to be involved in the leadership training program in March. So stay tuned. We invited questions and comments. There were many, and we take that as a very positive sign because there's interest in this, and we hope that the folks online will share their enthusiasm as well with the youth that they have engaged in their programming locally. Next, we had a presentation on youth-focused projects and common threats. This was a result of a series of over 25 meetings that we had with local community organizations and that work directly with youth and have youth programming or work directly in schools to reach their youth locally. And we identified some common threads between the projects that are working really well right now with young people. Art-based activities, lunchtime activities, no barriers to entry and no experience required activities, but that challenge young people to do something they might not always do themselves, like open mic night. There's no question among anybody we spoke to that outdoor and physical activities are popular and a great draw for young people. Also, identity-based activities are important and necessary. Activities that engage youth on challenging topics related to democracy and justice are working well. We have an example from our friends at Native Montreal who did a mock trial and filled the roles in the room where a trial might take place and had issues raised. And apparently the youth involved in their organization really enjoyed that because it was so challenging and different. Certainly life skills related activities are of great importance right now. Youth are struggling with the cost of living and food preparation and budgeting, as well as housing, knowing your rights as a renter, for example, but also with school transitions. So tons of organizations across the province are working on building these kinds of workshops and training opportunities because those life skills are so important at a younger and younger age. And why not teach them at a younger and younger age? But it's often falling to the community organizations because the schools are doing their part in different ways. Certainly homework help is popular and important for younger youth, but it can be expensive to provide homework help to young people in the community organization setting. And then career skills for older youth are drawing youth between the ages of 18 and 24. What were some common themes when we talked about increasing participation? What were some strategies? Well, that activities remain low pressure and accessible, including with regards to transportation. Providing money for transportation to get to activities is really important in many regions. Checking in with your youth at the beginning is, without calling it a mental health exercise, it is and is a supportive exercise at the beginning or at the end of any activity. We understood from our partners that sometimes having explicit themes during activities is a good thing, but you want to mix it with other activities at other times when there's no theme and no set agenda. And that mix is positive for youth and keeps them coming back on a recurring basis. Next, the importance of articulating the why of the activity, event, or initiative is really important. You don't want to leave young people asking themselves why they should go to something participate in something or join something, you want to let them know what the purpose is and the goal. Super important when you're organizing a youth activity. And then finally, involving youth in the preparation of the activity or the program. So again, back to the youth committee's idea. And this is where Y4Y has some experience and can support other organizations as well. Okay, some common threads, some positive, some more challenging. Of course, all of that said, we do have strategies, but there are still challenges with engaging youth in programming. There's no question about it. We place a lot of importance on in-person events and activities these days. The after-school window can be very advantageous for a community organization wanting to work with young people in the community, but it's not always open. Many of our young people have to travel great distances to and from school, and that's a real challenge for community organizations who want to engage and have things to offer. We're hearing from many organizations that bilingual activities are attracting a greater number of youth from the English-speaking youth community, but also youth from the French-speaking community as well, who want to participate to improve their English, and therefore you get a nice mix of young people who are exchanging in both languages, and those are growing in popularity. We were happy to hear. Another conseil, suggestion from our friends was that it's best when practical skill building activities are blended with socializing. And there's kind of a balance between the social aspect and the actual workshop skill building aspects of an activity. One issue that's come up repeatedly is low parent engagement. So as much as the youth might want to participate in an event or activity, they might be reliant on a parent to get them there. And more groups are reporting to us that there is lower parent engagement, and that's unfortunate, but perhaps it can be the subject of a concerted effort from the community to address it. And certainly, and we know this at Y4Y, activities that allow youth to vent are growing in popularity as well. We need to continue creating these spaces. Y4Y has had the experience in the past of youth saying during a consultation, for example, my goodness, nobody's ever asked us this before. We've never quite been treated this way before. We're so happy to have the space to make our voices heard on these topics. So I have to continue with that. And then we invited questions and comments. Again, engagement was strong. I think those who participated in the community forum earlier this week saw themselves reflected in the points that we raised about common threads in experience working directly with youth. And we learned a lot as well in all of those meetings and during the community forum from our partners who were present. Okay, the last breakout room was about youth consultations. Since Y4Y's inception, we've had a mandate to consult with English-speaking youth across the province. We're able to do more of those consultations every year now than we ever have been able to before, which is really exciting. It's where we hear directly from youth about the issues that they face as members of the linguistic minority community, but also just in general as young people going through their day-to-day realities. So youth consultations can look like anything. They can be art-based. They can be issue-based. They're certainly collaborative, and they're often fun, can also be very serious, and take all kinds of twists and turns depending on what the youth focus on when we give them the platform to speak up. So Y4Y has had training in how to conduct youth consultations with sensitivity and awareness. Y4Y representatives and those youth that we send to do peer-to-peer youth-led consultations with youth have training on how to deal with traumatic situations that might arise or accounts of traumatic events in young people's lives. That does come up during youth consultations, and it's important to be prepared. But ultimately, Y4Y has developed an expertise in conducting youth-led conversations. And that's what we'd like to come and do with your youth advisory committee, youth in your community, the hockey team locally, whatever it might be. We have a creative consultation team that is a team of volunteers that do this. They're all young people as well. But what we do when an organization contacts us and says, would you come and conduct a youth consultation with us? Of course, we meet with that organization. We consider them our co-equal partners in the creation of the youth consultation, but we provide some guidance in the planning and the structure of the consultation. We can provide materials, art materials, for example, and supplies that might anchor the activity for youth and allow them to open up and enjoy their time as well. We'll support with outreach and mobilization of local youth to attend these consultations. And so we encourage youth councils or committees that already exist or that are thinking of forming to take the initiative, conduct a youth consultation more broadly with their peers with our help. And so this is a QR code that first of all, there's an email there, consultations@y4yquebec.org, that will lead you into an email conversation with Samantha Restall. And if you're ready to just request a consultation, you can use that QR code there. It will take you to a simple form where you can request a consultation led by Y4Y Quebec, and we will plan a date and come to you wherever you may be in the province of Quebec. And let's talk to some of the youth in your community in partnership with you and your organization. We invited more questions and comments. Again, I hope there was interest in that opportunity. We can conduct up to 12 youth consultations per year, thanks to our funders at the federal and provincial levels who provide us with the opportunity to do so and the mandate. We followed all of these breakout sessions with a plenary discussion and some Q&A. By this time, it was nearly noon. And so people were ready to move on, but I think from the feedback that we've received, they felt positively about their understanding of what Y4Y plans to do in 26, 27, and how we can support the work of others. So we did follow up with an email with all kinds of links. And if you would like that email that brings everything home with all the QR code links and everything, please write to us at info@y4yquebec.org. Also, certainly, please sign up for our newsletter. So there's a QR code there where you can sign up for Y4Y's newsletter. That goes out monthly, and it's where we highlight all the opportunities and the various projects where youth can get involved with no barriers to entry in free, fun, engaging, informative, and empowering activities with Y4Y. Thank you for viewing the recap session, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now.